This is Game of Thrones news, Game of Thrones news, Game of Thrones news, Game of Thrones news, Game of Thrones news.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too, mate.
People probably assume we don't see each other outside of Whatculture, but here we are. Not Whatculture, got news today. We've got news.
Yeah.
If you want it, you have to listen to it. Did you know they're doing spin-offs of Game of Thrones?
I'd heard there is some spin-offs. I didn't realise quite how many.
Well, yes. News reaches us of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but there is now a 5th Game of Thrones spin-off in development by HBO.
I mean, it's fairly popular.
I'm going to temper your expectations here because I spoke to James, our oracle on such matters, and while
the one who actually knows stuff about Game of Thrones,
the one who should be sitting there but isn't as entertaining on camera as you.
Thanks.
Please be entertaining. He fully expects them to write 5 and pitch 5, but he reckons in the immediate future only 2 or 3 will get picked up. But amongst those 5, he thinks this one, announced only today, or possibly last night if you're American, will be the one that gets people the most excited. Do you want to know why?
Are they just throwing enough stuff that one will stick eventually, is basically what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. But this one, do you want to know why this one's going to stick?
Yes.
Right. If George R.R. Martin's not writing Game of Thrones, who do you want to write it? A massive Game of Thrones nerd.
Yes.
Not a TV person, a massive Game of Thrones nerd. And Bryan Cogman, who's done quite a few episodes of the show, and is, by George R.R. Martin's own words, a massive Game of Thrones nerd, is going to write the whole script for this.
Good. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if George R.R. Martin's not going to write it, and I mean, he might not live that long, so you never know. Yeah, I think rather than just someone getting some random TV bloke in, someone who's a huge fan and has worked on it before and knows how to structure it, first of all.
Do you know how War George is the last person on Earth using LiveJournal? Pretty much keeping the site going purely on his own traffic. He wrote a while ago about there being another one in development, and he said, without naming him, he said, he's a really terrific addition, however, a great guy and a fine writer, and aside from me, and maybe Elio and Linda, contributors to the Song of Ice and Fire world,
of course,
I don't know anyone who knows and loves Westeros as well as he does. Now, he doesn't know James Hunt personally, so that's a fair comment. So he obviously really likes this guy. But didn't name it, I can't say who it is yet, but we've today learned that it's Bryan Cogman. Now, if you don't know who Bryan Cogman is, he wrote my favourite episode. It's the one where Tyrion's on trial.
Yeah, that is a good one.
He did, I've got a list of all the ones he did as well. He did Oathkeeper, Kill the Boy, Blood of My Blood, Cripples, Bastards and Broken Things. He had a cameo in The Lion and the Rose. He was the bald servant dude. So he's been in the show.
Oh, fair play if he's got himself. But then again, if you were a writer, that's what you do, wouldn't you? You'd write yourself into a scene.
Oh, I'd write myself a much better. I'd get shot. I'd get killed. I'd have a really gory death.
Get roasted by a dragon.
But he also did The Laws of Gods and Men, which is the Tyrion trial one, and I think it's my favourite story one. Obviously, I'm a big old dork, so I like seeing massive action sets.
Yeah, the battle ones. Outside of the battle ones, battle episodes. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Let's talk spin-offs. What do you know?
I know that there's been discussions of, well, the big question is what they're going to do. Is it going to be a character spin-off, or is it going to be like the whole story, but just sort of before where we started with Game of Thrones?
They're all prequels, loosely speaking. They're all designed to expand on the world of Westeros.
Good.
Not specifically character focused. There's going to be no like Joey. Joey wasn't to expand on the world of Friends.
Yes.
It was to expand on Joey.
Really hope this is.
They never work. Those spin-offs never work. So this is going to expand on the world of Westeros instead. They're not going to do Robert's Rebellion, they've said, which is sad, and they're not going to do Duck and Egg. Duck and Egg? Dunk and Egg. I always call it Duck and Egg. They're not going to do Dunk and Egg, which is also sad. But they're going to be set well before. And one thing we have been told is they're not going to involve any characters who are currently prominent in the show. Good,
I like that, because then you get all these problems with people going, hang on, why is this happening in this, this is meant to be beforehand, but then this happens in, it just gets really confusing.
What would you, go on. Get your nuts out, what do you want to see?
I would, that's the thing, I would have really liked to have seen Robert's Rebellion. I think the amount it's hinted to, I know it's difficult because you back yourself into a corner with what's already been said, but for me, that's the thing, especially as someone who hasn't read the books, who's just taken the TV show as it is, seeing something like that, I'd love it. And considering how good they've done all the battle scenes,
do you know what my worry would be?
Go on.
If they did a spin-off about Robert's Rebellion, which is essentially like the thing that led to the whole main story of Game of Thrones, would it not just end up being like the Star Wars prequels? Like all this nice stuff that was hinted at that feels like important and mythic and you can sort of do your own imagination for, they just end up like over CGI and all of a sudden you don't care.
I haven't thought of it that way.
Because like the bit where you find out, the bit where you find out that Jon like is Rhaegar and Ilana's child, right? Would that not be like the bit? Then you'd have to see like her die in childbirth, and it would just be like, it would literally be like the Luke, I am your father bit.
Who would be the Jar Binks of?
Oh, they'd come up with one, surely. I don't know.
God, yeah, it's really tempered my desire to see
Sorry about
Rebellion.
That. Sorry that I've thrown a bucket of cold water all over your spin-off hard-on. I wouldn't get too excited though because we're not going to see these until after the main show's finished. At least a year after the main show. And that's going to take
ages.
It's not going to be. Oh god, they still haven't given us a firm date.
So it's it was meant to. Well, everyone.
You're looking at your watch. I know. Whenever it's that.
Yeah.
Oh, Game of Thrones is going to be along in about a year and a half.
Game of Thrones countdown T minus. Yeah, because I think you get used to it to being every year, and then obviously they went, hang on. We're not promising it's going to be 2018. It probably will be 2019.
Oh god. And I got asked like, oh, what are you gonna do like for a job, like while Game of Thrones is away? And obviously, I want to point out that I'm very important in other matters.
Oh yeah.
Sort of, but yeah, I'm feeling the hole in my life already. Like getting an early night's kip on a Sunday's horrible.
Tell you what you should do.
Go on.
This has been suggested on Twitter.
Is it Cleary's Theories?
Well, Cleary's Theories is. I mean, it should be in the works by now.
It is in the works.
Good. But on top of that, what you need to do is Whatculture from the beginning.
Oh god, you mean ups and downs or proper Whatculture?
Oh, everything.
We should do the whole thing from the beginning.
Because that's what.
Do you know what? That would probably fill up the time, but you know.
And we will have to watch it really early on a Monday.
Yeah, I'd have to have that same tired face, wouldn't I? Anyway, I'm glad we've made this new story about me. As an only child, that's what I live for. Any more thoughts on the spin-offs? Are you excited? Do you think they should just leave it alone? Or do you think we should definitely have 5 more goddamn shows?
Well, yes and no. The part of me, yes, that is desperately has a Game of Thrones void in my life, which will only get bigger when it finishes. I can't get don't get.
Oh my god, it's gonna finish!
Yeah, I don't get the feeling that it's gonna be the last episode. They finish and I go, right. Tell you what, I haven't watched West Wing. I'm gonna watch
Westeros Wing.
Westeros Wing. What with me?
Just about the little inner circle movements of the small council during Robert's Rebellion.
That's what everyone wants to see.
Anyway,
the 6th spin-off will be the Westeros.
We'll leave it there. You're never doing news again, Adam Wilborn. Oh. Thank you very much for joining us. Let us know what you want to see from a Game of Thrones spin-off in the comments, because I don't think anybody really knows yet. And who knows, we might collate them into a load of hot take ideas, and I'll end up doing a video to pass the time on the inevitable march to the grave. That's been the news. We got news. Now you got news. Bye.